You do everything right. You wake up, you go to work, you pay the bills, you check the boxes, you move forward, but somewhere in the background, a quiet voice keeps asking, what is the point? You push it away, you stay busy, you distract yourself, but in the quiet moments, it returns. This feeling that none of it matters, that you are running on a wheel going nowhere. That life is just a series of tasks until it ends. You look around. Everyone else seems to have purpose. They seem sure. They seem to know why they are here. And you wonder if something is broken inside you. Paramahansa Yogananda knew this feeling. He saw it in thousands of people who came to him, successful people, accomplished people, people who had everything the world says you should want. And he told them something that changed everything. This feeling of pointlessness is not a problem. It is a breakthrough. It means the lies have stopped working. It means your soul is finally ready for the truth. Today, we will explore what to do when everything feels pointless, not with empty motivation, not with forced positivity, but with a deep understanding that can transform this crisis into the most important turning point of your life. Let's begin with why this happens. Most people build their lives on borrowed meaning. From childhood, you are handed a script: get good grades, get a good job, find a partner, buy a house, have children, retire, be happy. You didn't write this script, you inherited it, and for a while, it works. Each goal gives you something to chase. Each achievement gives you a temporary sense of purpose. You feel like you are going somewhere, but at some point, the script starts to fail. Maybe you achieved the goals and felt nothing. Maybe you realize the next goal won't feel different. Maybe you just woke up one day and the whole game seemed absurd. Yogananda called this the crisis of the borrowed life. You have been living someone else's definition of meaning, and your soul can no longer pretend it is enough. This is not depression, though it can look like it. This is not laziness, though others might judge it that way. This is a spiritual emergence. The false floor is collapsing so the real ground can appear. The pointlessness you feel is not the absence of meaning. It is the absence of false meaning, and that is very different. Now, let's understand the 3 stages of this experience. The first stage is disillusionment. This is where it begins. The things that used to motivate you stop working. Success feels empty. Pleasure feels flat. Goals feel arbitrary. You keep asking why, and no answer satisfies. This stage is painful because you are losing your grip on the old life but haven't found the new one yet. You are in between, floating, groundless. Most people panic here. They try to go back. They force themselves to care about things they no longer care about. They fake enthusiasm. They double down on distraction, but you cannot go back. Once you see through the illusion, you cannot unsee it. The only way is forward. The second stage is the void. If you don't run from disillusionment, you enter the void. This is the place of nothing. No motivation, no direction, no sense of why you are here. This stage terrifies people. It feels like death. In a way, it is. The old self, the one built on borrowed meaning, is dying, and you don't yet know who will take its place. Yogananda taught that this void is sacred. It is the space between the false life and the true life. It is dark because the old light has gone out, but it is in darkness that new light is born. Do not rush through this stage. Do not fill it with noise. Let yourself be empty. Let yourself not know. This emptiness is not your enemy. It is the womb of transformation. The third stage is rebirth. If you surrender to the void, instead of fighting it, something begins to emerge, not from outside, from within. A quiet knowing. A direction that doesn't come from should, but from something deeper. This is the birth of real meaning. Not borrowed, not inherited, yours. It may not look impressive to the world. It may not match the old script, but it will feel true. And that feeling of truth is worth more than any achievement the borrowed life could offer. Now, let's talk about what Yogananda taught regarding true meaning. He said that every soul comes to earth with a purpose, not a job title, not a role, a purpose, a unique contribution that only you can make, a particular way of expressing the divine that is yours alone. But this purpose is not handed to you on paper. It is buried within you, covered by layers of conditioning, expectation, and fear. The crisis of pointlessness is often what cracks those layers open. Your soul knows why it is here. The mind has forgotten. The work is not to invent meaning, but to remember it. Yogananda also taught that the deepest purpose is the same for everyone: to realize your true nature, to wake up from the dream of separation, to know yourself as part of the infinite. All other purposes are branches of this root. When you connect to the root, the branches grow naturally. When you are disconnected from the root, no branch can satisfy. So, how do you find meaning that lasts? The first key is stop looking outside. The world will keep offering you meaning, new goals, new achievements, new identities, but these are more scripts, more borrowed lives. Real meaning cannot be given to you. It can only be uncovered within you. This requires turning inward, sitting with yourself, asking not what should I do, but what is true for me. This is uncomfortable. The mind wants answers quickly. It wants a new goal to chase, but the soul speaks slowly. It requires patience. It requires silence. The second key is follow aliveness. When borrowed meaning collapses, you lose the external compass, but there is an internal compass that remains. It is subtle. It speaks through the body as much as the mind. What makes you feel alive? Not excited in a manic way, alive in a quiet, deep way, present, connected, real. This aliveness is a signal from the soul. It is pointing toward your true path. It may not make logical sense. It may not fit the old script. Follow it anyway. Yogananda said that joy is the compass of the soul, not pleasure, which is external. Joy, which arises from alignment with your true nature. When you are on your path, joy appears. When you are off your path, it disappears. Trust this signal. The third key is serve something greater. The ego looks for meaning in personal gain. What can I get? How can I win? But this kind of meaning always runs dry. The more you focus on yourself, the more pointless life feels. Yogananda taught that lasting meaning comes from contribution, from giving, from being part of something larger than your small self. This does not require grand gestures. It can be as simple as helping one person, creating one thing of beauty, bringing one moment of kindness into the world. When you shift from what can I get to what can I give, the question of pointlessness often dissolves on its own. You are no longer the center of a meaningless universe. You are a participant in something alive and interconnected. The fourth key is connect to the source. This is the deepest teaching. All meaning ultimately flows from one source. Call it God. Call it Spirit. Call it the universe. The name does not matter. When you are connected to this source, meaning is not something you have to find. It flows through you naturally. Every action becomes meaningful because it is connected to the infinite. When you are disconnected from this source, no amount of achievement can fill the void. The emptiness keeps returning because you are trying to fill an infinite hole with finite things. Meditation is the bridge. In stillness, you reconnect. In silence, you remember. Not just intellectually, but in your cells, in your being. You feel that you are part of something vast, and in that feeling, pointlessness becomes impossible. Here is a practice for when everything feels meaningless. Find a quiet place. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Let each exhale release tension from your body. Now ask yourself silently, not with the mind, but with the heart. What is true for me? What does my soul want to express? Do not force an answer. Do not think your way to a response. Simply hold the question gently and listen. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes in this open listening. Answers may come as words, as images, as feelings, or as nothing at all. All are valid. If nothing comes, that is fine. The question itself opens a door. The answer may arrive later, in a dream, in a conversation, in a sudden knowing. Repeat this practice daily. Over time, the soul's voice becomes clearer. The direction emerges, not all at once, but step by step. What changes when real meaning appears? When you find meaning that comes from within, life transforms. You no longer need external validation. The world can approve or disapprove. It no longer determines your sense of purpose. You can handle difficulty. When meaning is deep, obstacles become part of the path, not evidence that the path is wrong. You feel connected, not alone in an indifferent universe, but part of something intelligent, something alive, something that includes you. And the question of pointlessness fades, not because you found a clever answer, but because you are living the answer. You are expressing what you came here to express. You are being who you came here to be. Yogananda's final message on this was simple. You are not here by accident. You are not a random collection of atoms in an indifferent universe. You are a soul with a purpose, a spark of the infinite with something to contribute. The feeling of pointlessness is not proof that life has no meaning. It is proof that you are ready to stop pretending and start living for real. The old meaning had to die. Let it go. Something truer is waiting to be born. If this message touched something in you, subscribe and turn on notifications. More of Yogananda's wisdom on finding purpose and inner peace is coming. Share this video with someone who feels lost. Sometimes the right words arrive exactly when they are needed. And leave a comment. What gives your life meaning? Sharing it might help someone else find theirs. See you in the next one.